All right, hello. Welcome to the weather update for September 24th, 2021. We actually have a lot to talk about regarding the tropics, regarding some really unusual looking skies today. This is what we had across the area. You can see we're kind of in between the clear skies to the west and the stall front off to the east, and some really cool looking clouds to look at, especially as the sunset. Really some pretty looking clouds there. Clear to the west, we kind of like on the line all day long. And it was quite interesting, you see there. And then as we got toward sunset and dusk, that's when the colors really started coming out in the sky. And it was quite pretty, as you can see here. So we got some nice pictures out of it. Very nice. Yeah, I was on the South Shore again, right? There you go. But really beautiful. Look at those colors there. So I'm going back and, I had to take care of some stuff. I'm waiting for the bus on Old Country Road. I had to go to Stop and Shop, and I had to go to the mall to get some new sneakers. And I'm waiting for the bus around 8:53, and I see there's a blue meteor. I don't know if anyone else saw this. It fell south of Long Island in the ocean. So I was looking around and seeing if I could find it on some, webcams. And the Hamptons ones, they're all clouded over, so you can't see anything because they're still clouded over. But I found one in New Jersey looking out toward the ocean, and we're going to look right now. And look at the top-hand corner of your screen right here. I'm going to wait for that stuff to go away. I'm going to hit play, and you're going to see this meteor coming through. So let's play this, and you'll see this. There it is. You see that? Right there. You see that meteor? I'll play it again. We could zoom in a little bit as well. Let's see if we can zoom in a little. Play this. I think I can zoom in. Can I zoom in? Or can I not zoom in? Oh, I can't zoom in. Good. All right. So if we go up over here in this area right here, we'll zoom in. You should be able to see it in a minute. You'll see this meteor. And it was blue. It was blue, but on this one it looks kind of red. There it is. You see it? There it is, right there. So very interesting. Had to point that out. I don't know if anyone saw it. It was kind of blue, but there was definitely a meteor that fell somewhere in the ocean or over the probably it didn't reach the ground. It burned up, but it was definitely out over the ocean, south of Long Island, east of New Jersey, in this general area. And it was like for me, it was a blue. It was a bluish color. Because blue was very unusual. So you don't get to see that every day. But you can see you got some showers and thunderstorms plaguing. Got some pretty intense thunderstorms plaguing Cape Cod right now. The front, as far as the precipitation goes, has moved to our east. We're still dealing with this line of clouds. So you can see we've got the satellite loop right now. And you see that line of clouds pretty much over Long Island, just off the Jersey shore. Kind of just stuck there. And that's the front kind of stalled out right there. And it's even the most of Long Island is finally dry, but you can see this front is kind of hung up, and it's not really going to be moving all that much. It's not really going to be making that much eastward progress. Let's go and look at our current conditions across the area. It is very comfortable out, mid-60s. And if you don't have an alley, you can shut off your air conditioner. Mid-60s, and dew points generally are in the low 50s. 52-degree dew point at Farmingdale, 59-degree dew point at Islip. A little more damp as you head out east because it had been raining, and the rain had only recently stopped in there. You can see they're a little closer to the front, so they're not quite as in the dry air. 63 with the dew point of 61 at West Hampton. And if we look at New Jersey, you see a little bit of drier air, maybe 52-degree dew point there in Lakehurst. They're down at the 50s already in those Pine Barrens west of Toms River. And they're going to get some good radiational cooling because they're not going to be dealing with the clouds that we are. Depending on where you are, further out east, you're going to have more clouds. So let's go look at the high temperatures for today. And you'll see we got up into the mid-70s, 76 at Carl Place, 73 at Farmingdale, 72 at Islip where there were more clouds, not quite as warm out east, 74 in West Hampton, 76 at the Gorge, 71 in Central Park. And let's take a look at New Jersey, what they got up to today, and they were generally in the mid-70s, actually a little cooler there. but they had more sun. So they had more sun. It wasn't completely clear for them all day, but generally it had a little more sun than we did because we were just a little further to the west. And the further west you were, the more sun you saw today. Looking at, we already did look at the rainfall. I'll bring this up again on here. These are the rainfall reports. I think I read these already, or these were updated, but you can see some areas in Fairfield County, 4.72 inches. That's an insane amount of rain. Stamford, 4.15. Danbury, 3.88. An insane amount of rain. I'm sure that caused some flooding. New Haven, Waterbury Airport, 2.51. Bergen County, you have high amounts there. We already read those. I want to go over the Long Island ones a little more because these are a little more late in coming. 3.06 North Massapequa, Syosset 2.93, Syosset 2.84, Levittown 2.63, Wandsworth 2.38. So most areas got over 2 inches of rain. So we got more rain than was modeled again, and that's something that we've been noticing lately. Let's look at Suffolk County. Islip Terrace 2.94, Miller Place 2.79, Stony Brook 2.48, Nesconza 2.46, East Talker 2.45. So again, a lot more rain than I thought. Islip got 2.10 inches. It's quite a wet month overall. And we're going to actually look at the climate, the preliminary climate data. Why don't we do that already for the day? Let's do that for Islip. No, observed weather. Islip. Let's do the daily climate report for Islip first. And it should talk about how much rain we've seen this month. All right, month to date, 5.14. Today we had a record rainfall amount. This is actually from before, because Islip wound up getting more. Well, I guess that counts from last night, I guess, a little bit. But month to date, 5.14. So that's 2.8. The normal is 2.84. So we're 2.30 above normal for rainfall at Islip. So again, very wet month. For Islip, a very wet month. And if we go look at the climate data for the city, we should do that too. Central Park. Can also look at Central Park, or should I say maybe Newark. Well, we'll do Central Park. Let's see what Central Park did. September 1st, 9.76 inches of rain. The normal is 3.42. What is the wettest September on record at Central Park? I'm curious about that. We may break that record. That is quite unbelievably. So just an incredibly wet month. And again, just a rainy month. And that rain really turned out to be a lot more than we thought it was going to be. Because again, the oceans are warmer. Warmer oceans hold more moisture, more humidity, and a slow-moving cold front. Pretty much all that moisture, the showers just fall over the same areas over and over and over again. Let's look at the precipitation. I'm going to move this back to yesterday. We'll get a whole day's worth here of precipitation here. And you get a chance to look at the map and see what we have here on Long Island. And you see these amounts here. Again, these 2+ inch amounts, 3.06 in Massapequa to over 2 inches. And just incredibly, these big rainfall events we've had. And, I was walking around. I was at Twin Ponds in Wandsworth, and the trails were flooded. Some areas you couldn't even get through. 2.45 in Port Jefferson, 2.17 in Sayville. A lot less as you get to the Forks, though. They didn't really get all that much. The convection kind of weakened, but still, West Hampton picked up around an inch. So, yeah, just this September is unbelievable. But hey, we've got other things we got to talk about here. The tropics are busy. Say hello to Teresa now. That's right. We have another named storm just formed north of Bermuda. Very unusual to see storms form that far north. It's called a subtropical storm. All right. We'll get to that in a moment. But let's talk about Sam. Hurricane Sam. That's right. Hurricane Sam. This is the latest advisory on Sam. You can see they have it becoming a major hurricane and staying a major hurricane because there is no shear out there. And this is going to really become a powerhouse, and we're going to have to watch this. The trend is to recurve it out to sea, but it's very far out in the long range, and things can change between now and then. So we have to keep the door open for possibly affecting the United States. Let's go to the latest public advisory, 5 p.m. Sam's intensification resumes as the hurricane slows its forward motion. As of 5 p.m., its location is 12.1 north, 44.8 west, about 1,290 miles east-southeast of the northern Leeward Islands. Maximum sustained winds are 85 miles an hour, moving west at 12 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 986 millibars, 29.12 inches. Hurricane force winds extend. It's a small storm. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 15 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 60 miles. It's very compact, which kind of makes it harder for the models to predict. I was watching Joe Chaffee the other night, and he was saying that. And that's why the models have been kind of all over the place with this. Then we go to Teresa, and we'll look at them on the satellite in a moment. Teresa is going to stay out in the ocean and just be a tropical storm. Saying it's a subtropical storm, but still unusual to see it form that far north, which tells you how you got the conditions, the warmer than normal ocean temperatures that are. Let's go to the latest public advisory on subtropical storm Teresa. As of 5 p.m. Location, 34.5 north, 64.5 west, about 155 miles north of Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds are 45 miles an hour. I have to call it subtropical because it didn't form in the tropics. Present movement northwest at 14 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 1,008 millibars, 29.77 inches. So, again, impressive that this thing formed that far north. And we're going to get to that Greek alphabet, trust me. We're going to get there. We may wind up getting there. Right now they're not watching any other areas, but I think we will get there, definitely. We don't have that many more names to go at this point. Let's go to the satellites and look at, let's start first with Sam. It's a very compact storm, you can see, but look at that, very well-defined eye. This is a hurricane, definitely, and it's really in perfect shape. Very small, very compact, but very intense. We're going to have to keep watch of this thing for sure, because it's going to become a major hurricane. Potential for a Category 4, maybe even a Category 5 out of this. Very impressive looking hurricane right there. And let's take a look at it now on this. On this one here, on this satellite. And you can see here, again, look at that. Look at that convection blow-ups. This is a hurricane that is undergoing some intensification, and it could be rapid. We may be dealing with a Cat 3 by tomorrow night, perhaps, with Sam. Now, let's go and look at Teresa. First, we'll go to Teresa on this. Teresa, not nearly as impressive. But you can clearly see the tropical nature of this, or subtropical nature of this storm, but very disorganized. But it is definitely something that's out there, but it's not going to bother anyone. The Sam is going to be the one that we have to be concerned about. And we can also look at Teresa on here as well. And there it is right there, as it said. You can clearly see that there is tropical circulation here and convection around it. But this is not going to be a threat to anyone, and it is not really that intense of a system to worry about, whereas Sam, on the other hand, is. So let's get to some more information on Sam right now and look at some of these spaghetti models. They all turn it toward the north. That's as far as we go on this, all right, because it's a ways out there. And there's a big spread into where this is. So there's just a lot of uncertainty. Look at this. Look at these ensembles. Some of them take them and hook it to the left. Some of them take it out. Some of them don't. These are the GEPS ensembles. All right, here are the GFS ensembles. Most of them do recurve it off the GEFS. But still, you have to leave the door open. And then, of course, look at this intensity guidance here. This thing is going to become a monster. It's going to be a compact monster, and it could get up to a Cat 5, perhaps. So, yeah, this is going to be a big one, folks. Well, maybe not big in size yet, but definitely big in intensity with this storm that we are watching right now. Actually, I wanted to look at a few more rainfall totals. And this kind of has, let's see if we can get one to ground to zoom in here a little bit, to show you a few more rainfall totals out there that we have here. And you can see, again, those really high amounts there. just the soaking there. Looks like they got almost 2 inches there in North Patchogue, and a lot. Like I said, just a very wet month, all in all. Kind of curious how much rain North Patchogue has gotten for the whole month. Let's see. Actually, it's 1.55. The other station is, there's two right next to each other. He's at 59, by the way, so a lot cooler than I am. The alley's still like 67, so I still got to have the AC on, which is, I know, absolutely ridiculous. I'm just curious to see how much rainfall that they've gotten this month in North Patchogue. If we can get the monthly rainfall. Let's see. Precipitation for the month. Let's see. I guess we'd have to go to monthly mode and go to that and see if we can get the monthly mode for that. 4.53 inches. All right, that's not terrible, but that's still kind of wet. That's definitely above normal. Very much above normal for precipitation. It's a very wet month, a very rainy month across the area. So let's now go to the models. And again, this is the Modus satellite, which I'll just show you. Again, showing you this front here that's just been stuck right here. Just over, you can see Nassau County got into the sun. Suffolk County really didn't. And New Jersey, they got a lot more sun there. Mostly clear with just a few patchy, occasional cirrus and altocumulus clouds in the Jersey Shore area. And if you're in interior Jersey, you had a nice, mostly sunny day. Same thing from north and west of the city as well. You can see that front just kind of sitting there all day long there. Just sitting there offshore, stuck, and not moving all that much. So let's go to the tropical tidbits now and go and look at some of the models here. As we had, and luckily I've got the zero ZH and all that stuff that we can look at. But I want to start first with the GFS and the overall pattern as we head into the weekend. So we have this high building in, and but we have to wait for this little piece here to come through, this little trough, which will help push this front offshore for Sunday. So we get rid of that front, we get rid of the clouds for Sunday, and then we'll have sunshine Sunday. Monday we have this high built in, and then another high behind it. It looks like GFS unusually is forming this cutoff offshore, and this is going to be a bit of an issue here. So this is the cutoff that forms offshore out over the ocean, which could become something tropical itself. Here we are in October, and you can see we've got this strong high now to the north, and that is now becoming a problem for possibly, you can see it right here on the right-hand corner, for Sam. Let me move this a little further over to the eastern U.S. so you can get a look at Sam right here, all right? So this, now GFS takes it out, all right? But we have this cutoff here, and this could help pull Sam in, perhaps, to a possible landfall in, the GFS was indicating a possible landfall in Maine or Nova Scotia, all right? But we've got this cutoff here, and it's very unusual to see this cutoff, high pressure to the north, and this is something that has to be watched, and this could become something tropical itself. And that really does look like it's going to become something tropical, or at least the GFS has it becoming something tropical. But it all depends on the strength of the high pressure, and then look, it's forming another storm and having it go up. We don't know what storm that is coming from. I would have to pull that out and see what storm that would be coming from here. With that, it looks like it's forming something down in the Caribbean and then pulling it north. But we don't have that west to east flow, and that is a concern. It's as far out as it goes, all right? But we're not nearly, even though we've passed the peak of tropical season, don't let your guard down, because we're not out of the woods, especially with the kind of patterns that we've been in. Because again, if we look at the jet stream pattern here, the 250 MB wind, which you'll see here, you'll see we have this trough coming through, and then after that, we've got some troughs, but then you see what happens. It cuts off, and then we start seeing this cut-off trough that's going to hang out, this cut-off low that's going to hang out over the east, and there's no west to east motion. You can see, where does the jet stream go? The jet stream has disappeared again, and that is a concern as we get into October, that we could see these tropical systems once again, instead of recurving, threatening the eastern seaboard. So that's why we have to keep an open mind to what is going on in the tropics right now. And there are other models that we can use that don't really go that far out. We can use the European model as well. We can go to this one here and see what the European has, and let's see. We can look at the European and see how it deals with SAM. And here's SAM, and you can see the SAM, it could get flung right at us as this cutoff low is trapped here, and you can see it gets absorbed into it almost. And this is a bad pattern because this kind of reminds me what happened with Sandy, if you remember. So this is something concerned about. The European is saying that could repeat. So this is something that we're going to have to really keep a close watch on. Again, this is the European model. All right, so let's go back to the GFS model. And we're going to just look at our current weather now. We've kind of looked at the possibilities of tropical impacts. Well, let's go to the HRRR and look at the zeros, the HRRR, and see what our weather will be, at least for the weekend, with this front that's kind of hung up offshore. And it should be dry tomorrow, but the HRRR continues to show an area of showers that might wind up developing this little area of disturbance that might wind up developing and hitting us tomorrow night around the evening hours. It actually forms a low right along this front and then kind of brings it in. And then it gets pushed offshore as we head into Sunday. All right, but that's very interesting. The HRRR is continuing to do this. It's been very persistent on that. All right, so when we look at the dew points, I think you could see what's going to happen. Tomorrow we have northeast, and the winds kind of become easterly, and you see this low that forms along this front that it develops. And again, with those warmer than normal ocean temperatures, it's going to help fuel any storm systems possibly developing along this front. And then it moves away, and then we get back into the dry air by Sunday and really dry out very nicely. Looking at our temperatures, here are our temperatures, and tomorrow you will see we will have temperatures generally in the low to mid 70s. And then for Sunday, we will have upper 60s. Sunday will be a lot cooler behind that front, upper 60s to maybe around 70. Sunday is going to be absolutely beautiful, probably. All right, but we got to get through this stall front, and the HRRR continues to have this bias of keeping it closer to us and bringing in the chance of some rain for tomorrow. Let me look and see if the GFS is doing the same thing. And it sort of is. You can sort of see it, but it has it a little further east and more of a threat for the eastern end of Long Island and keeps the western end dry. And then we have the drier air building in for Sunday into Monday. Let's go look at the NAM3. I have 40 hours of the NAM3. Let's see if the NAM is doing something similar, because it sure as heck looks like it's doing something very similar to the HRRR, and it actually is developing possibly some pretty heavy storms perhaps for the east end, mainly east Suffolk County, with this wave of low pressure that's going to form along this stall frontal boundary. We have two models now indicating that this wave is going to form, so yeah, we may not have a completely dry weekend like we were hoping, and we'll have to wait for Sunday to get into the dry air, you know? Like I said, rain is a four-letter word this entire month, and we just can't seem to avoid it for long. So let's, and as far as the amount of rainfall that could be dumped from these showers and thunderstorms, let's go to the total accumulated precip, and, well, it doesn't go far enough out, unfortunately. So we're not going to have enough to really have to go to the 18Z run and have to roll that back to the 18Z run, which doesn't show it at all, by the way. So only the 0Z run, it doesn't go out far enough to really show it. But there's the possibility. It may stay east, it may not. It's very hard to predict where this all winds up. And that is going to be, so, you know, there may be a slight chance of rain tomorrow, and it might come down, especially if you're east into Suffolk County. That's all I'm going to say right now at this point. Let's go to the... Maybe we have the NAM. Maybe, actually, hold on a second. Maybe I can look at the 12 kilometer NAM, and maybe that will take us further out. Yeah, could be half an inch to another inch of rain, perhaps. And we all know it underestimated it. We got way more rain than the model said, so keep that in mind. Let's go now to the sky situation, and I guess I'll start with the RGM model, which I like to use for the sky, and show you what's going to happen for tomorrow. So, clouds linger. Now, this is the RGM, and the RGM is a little more optimistic in saying, well, if you're west of Riverhead, you'll have mostly sunny skies, and then the clouds kind of roll in from the southeast later on in the day into the evening. And we have these low clouds here and the precipitation-bearing clouds, and then these high clouds here with that trough that's going to come through and then kick this all out. And then for Sunday, we have mostly sunny skies across our area. And then Monday, maybe a few more clouds. It looks like it's trying to bring in another front for later on to Monday night to Tuesday. But this is, again, about the position of the front. And if we look at the NAM3, NAM3 is a little more in the way of more clouds for your day tomorrow, more in the way of lower clouds. Looks like lower or mid-level clouds. And then, again, that all gets kicked out on Sunday, and then we have a nice clear day. That is the NAM. We can also look at the GFS as well, which, again, shows that the clouds kind of hang around for tomorrow, especially if you're out east. But I think if you're western Suffolk, Nassau, and the Jersey Shore, New York City, should have plenty of sunshine, hopefully. But we'll have to watch those showers. Hopefully they stay more east. Then we clear it out Sunday. Then Monday we have another little wave of clouds come through, and then just showing you, again, looks like a stalled type of situation. Here we go into Thursday again with a stalled situation right along the coast there, perhaps developing there. Let's go look at our temperatures and dew points. So we'll go to the dew points now, and you'll see that drier air coming in for your Sunday. Maybe a little bump up in the dew points tomorrow, but nothing uncomfortable. And then nice northwest winds for Sunday, drawing us out. And then we have low humidity right through. Maybe a slight increase out of a cold front on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, we have the drier air come through. And then we're going to have to watch for, again, this front possibly stalling out offshore and a cutoff developing. And hopefully getting pushed far enough south that it'll keep us in the dry air and also keep whatever tropical systems are away. Because if the closer this thing is, and the weaker the high, the more likely it's going to make it up this far. So we have to keep an eye on that as well. Temperatures. Let's get to our temperatures now. So for your tomorrow, we're going to have GFS a lot warmer than the HRRR. Has us in the mid-70s. A little more optimistic about the sun. I think the HRRR is a little more pessimistic about that. Sunday, cooler, low 70s. Low to mid-70s on Monday. Tuesday, we start seeing a little warm out of that front. Maybe mid to upper 70s. Then it drops down 60s. With that northerly flow, upper 60s. We may not make it to 70. As we get to the later part of the week, it'll be nice and cool, according to the GFS. So let's go now look at, and being that the dew points are going to stay, we're not going to be dealing with humidity for a while, so I'm very happy about it, at least according to the GFS. But now I want to go to windy.com, and I'm going to visualize a little bit on that European model, which it uses to show you what could happen with, the European obviously has a different opinion of things, and you can actually just show the whole clouds here. This is the European cloud chart, and we'll start with this just to show you it does keep that front a little more east for tomorrow, but then as we get in the next week, I think this one things kind of change a little bit with the cutoff low, and it has a much more cutoff low. It has a more robust cutoff low, and it keeps the clouds around, and has a weaker high, and that's when we'd have to watch for, I'm trying to look for, oh, there it is. There is Sam right there, and that's when we'd have to watch for Sam perhaps getting combined into this. Now, this is as far as this goes, but you can see what it does with Sam. It tries to capture it and bring it in. And if we look at the winds at this time, this is a pretty substantial, tightly compact hurricane that is just offshore here. This is, again, this would be next weekend that we'd have to watch out for this thing possibly getting close to us. And again, it has at a category could be a Category 3 or even higher. If we go to gusts, I know this will overdo it a little bit, but that's pretty scary right there. I think it's overdoing it a little bit, but this is something to be very concerned about. And right now, it takes it more into Maine, and it doesn't fling it at us. At least this run doesn't. But again, we're going to have to keep an eye on Sam for certain, because some of the models seem to... This cutoff is complicating things. Normally, you get a west-east flow. These things recurve, but because we don't have a jet stream and a jet stream that is in a weakened state due to the Arctic amplification, this is what we have to watch out for. So, we have a ways to go, but you got anything is possible, and we have to keep an open mind on it. But right now, just enjoy the nice weather we will be having, and hopefully Sam will stay away, but it may not. History has shown that these unusual patterns can screw us. And we're going to have to keep an eye on that. And, of course, if you look at the waves, this would cause a tremendous amount of beach erosion as well. So I think that's going to wrap up this weather update here. So beginning with the stall front. After we get rid of the stall front, we should have some nice weather. And then we'll have to worry about possible impact from Sam along the East Coast for next weekend, perhaps. So that is going to be it for this weather update. Take care, and thanks for watching.